Hello, 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 hello. Welcome to Southern Grace and Sass. Now, this episode is going to go out a little bit earlier just because it is Easter week this week. Today is Palm Sunday at the time of this recording. Friday is Good Friday, and then da-da-da-da, Easter Sunday. So it's been an Easter-filled week, and it is time for our Southern Grace and Sass Easter-filled episode. I'm so excited for this one. We are on episode 31. And I can't wait to see. Um, my name is Breezy. I am your host, and if you're new here, hit that like button, ring that bell for notifications. Also, please subscribe. Also, check out the hat that my mom gave me. Still figuring it out. And she got it when she went to a conference over here at Wallace. So she got me, and she got one of the hats, and it's pink. So how can you not love it, right? With that being said, why don't we kick off with some TikToks that I found, and I want to introduce you eventually to Still Talk. You're probably wondering what I'm talking about. Well, you'll see here in a few minutes.
Shout out to the white people who are white, but not white. Like you white, but you ain't that kind of white. You white, but you not a crack.
Look, I love finding people and asking people what's your I'm white but I'm not that white moment. This is hilarious, honestly. Um, but yeah, this is think about it though. What is your I'm white but I'm not that white moment, for crying out loud? Alright, here's our next TikTok.
Oh my god! Oh my god, hello! And I'm white. I'm not that white. Coming from someone who was raised by a Native American mother, close the door. No, thank you.
I 100% agree with this. Look, there's just a limit to how far I'm willing to go. I'm just saying. But here's our next TikTok.
May I help you? Like, do we got a problem?
Look. Um, I happen to agree that Snow Day was pretty and stuff, but what happened? Then again, this is Alabama after all, so I'm not surprised. But let me introduce you to something I recently discovered. Still Talk. You're gonna love it.
How do you boys feel about the rain? I think they like it.
And down. And down. And down. And down.
Seriously? How do you not love Still Talk? I thought it was so hilarious and so cute. It made me want to still even more. I want a little puppy. Come on now. But with that being said, why don't I move on to today's episode, shall we? Alright, Easter is coming up. And that means so many fun traditions. And some of my favorite traditions will be waking up and going for the Easter basket, dyeing Easter eggs, even hunting for Easter eggs. Honestly, even eating chocolate bunnies. I know, I know. I'm a girl, what can I say? And then we will go to church and have Easter dinner. It's classic and traditional, right? And I love doing stuff like that. And I plan to do that with my future children one day. But yeah. Now I want to talk about when did Easter start to become commercialized? Well, it will begin in the late 19th century with a mass produce of chocolate accelerating heavily by the 1950s and 60s, and retailers will be fueled by the shift to the bridge, the gap between summer and Christmas. And it will also transform the religious holiday into something secular with gift giving events and candies. Now, let's talk about the late 1800s for a second. From the late 1800s to the early 1900s, Cadbury and other companies will begin mass manufacturing of chocolate eggs, such as greeting cards as well. And in the 1910s, there would be Easter parades that would become popular, and driving clothing sales, with jelly beans becoming standard in baskets. From the 1950s to the 1960s, the Easter Bunny would become a highly marketed figure, mimicking the Santa Claus phenomenon. In the 1930s, the adoption of specialized and secured packaging allowed for a widespread distribution of the fragile chocolate eggs. Now, I want to talk briefly about the history of Easter. Okay? Um, Easter is uh Easter is a Christian holiday that has been celebrated for over 2,000 years as the resurrection of Jesus. Just 3 days after his crucifixion, and it's rooted in the Jewish Passover. It also means the end of Lent, a 40-day fasting period, and modern traditions, including eggs and rabbits, blend ancient pagan spring festivals and symbolizing the new hope with the Christian resurrection themes. There has also been several key historical aspects too of Easter as well, such as the Easter. It commemorates the resurrection of Jesus Christ. In the New Testament, following the death of his crucifixion, it was also occupied during the Passover festival. The name Easter is believed to have derived from Estor or Ostra, an Anglo-Saxon goddess in the spring of fertility. There is also a connection to Passover with Jesus' Last Supper in early Christians in 325 CE, when the Council of Nicaea formally separated the dates. Now, let's talk about some of the famous symbolisms and traditions real quick. Just a few, because your time is precious and I want you to know that. And this is Easter, so I don't want you fixating too much on this. And I want you to be out there enjoying time with your family. But the eggs in Easter represent fertility and a new symbol of life in the Passover tomb, including with the Easter bunny, which originated from the German tradition of hair delivering eggs to represent fertility in the springtime. And Easter clothing, where early Christians wore new white clothes to symbolize baptism and new life in Christ. But that is it for this episode. You can go to Sassy Southern Belle, where I also have an Easter episode coming out. So there you go.